Good afternoon, everybody. It is Saturday the 13th of June. I have decided to come and sit out in the garden where it is simultaneously cold, wet and overcast, but also unpleasantly warm with intermittent bursts of extremely bright sunshine. And the wind changes randomly between no wind at all and gale force 10. You can almost imagine that it was an Empire weekend. On this day in history, in 1920, the US Post Office formally issued a directive that children could no longer be sent by parcel post after numerous incidents, including one where Mr. and Mrs. Beeg in Ohio posted their 10-month-old son using 50 cents of postage stamps, although they did insure him for $50, which is nice. In 1967, Thurgood Marshall was nominated as the first African-American Supreme Court Justice. He would be sworn in on the 2nd of October, if I'm reading the American dates correctly, which 50-50. In 1970, In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry becomes the UK number one. And in 1978, the film Grease opened in cinemas and went on to become an instant classic. In 1995, Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette was released and became the permanent soundtrack of the late 90s, to the point where I can't hear You Ought to Know without suffering quite unpleasant flashbacks. And in 2019, archaeologists announced that the fortified settlements on artificial islands in Scottish lochs known as crannogs are far older than was first thought, with radiocarbon dating placing their construction between 3640 and 3360 BCE, older than Stonehenge. If it's your birthday today, you share it with Mystic Weirdos, W.B. Yeats and Gerald Gardner, with actors Basil Rathbone, Malcolm McDowell and Chris Evans, with, let me just get my fingers ready, social activist Mary Whitehouse, ask your parents who she was, and with actor and playwright Kathy Burke. It is International Albinism Awareness Day, and I'm going to avoid making any jokes about that. It is Worldwide Knit in Public Day and also World Gin Day, which coincides with International Axe Throwing Day. And I have to hope that there is somewhere out there people who are drinking gin and throwing axes at things. If not because that's things they enjoy, but in celebration of the fact that we're not running a LARP event today. On the subject of gin and the importance of telling the truth, I cannot stand it. I think it is palatable if you mix it with Coca-Cola, like whiskey and brandy. On that cheerful note, mixing gin with Coca-Cola, I will suggest that now is as good a time as any to take your medications, and to suggest that you look after yourselves and each other. I am going to stay out in the garden for another little while, reading Spire source books, and then I'm going to dash in source for the Ask Me Anything on the PD Twitch stream, in which members of the plot team will be fielding questions from the players, and which I cannot make up my mind as to whether that is going to go really well or be or catch fire and fall into a swamp. Either way, perfect advert for PD. Anyway, I shall see you all tomorrow for Sunday, which will be the 14th. Bye.